Welcome back to AM Northwest. Does your teen demand the newest iPhone? Does your tween expect you to be a personal chef? Do your kids refuse to take no for an answer? Here to share how to change your kids' me-centered attitude, we welcome the author of Earn It, Dr. Michael Wetter. Good to have you with us, Doctor.
A pleasure to be here. Thank you.
So explain to me what you mean by kids who are entitled. How can we do?
You know, entitlement brings with it a huge definition and assumption. Really what entitlement boils down to is the absence of gratitude and the inability to appreciate the hard work that usually comes with achievement. So when we talk about entitlement, those are the things that are typically lacking. And really what the inspiration of this book was when I became a father. You know, when my daughter Leia was born 9 years ago. And I realized how we as a society inadvertently cultivate entitlement, not only in infants, but along the entire spectrum of development.
Give me an example of an entitled kid.
An entitled kid is someone who, you know, anywhere from being in the shopping cart at the store and reaching for that 99-cent store and say, gimme, gimme, and the parent gives it to him.
Wow.
To the 15-year-old that says, the new iPhone X is coming out, it's $1,000, but I deserve it.
Right.
Okay. To the 30-year-old who's moving back home because, you know, I earned my MBA, but they still won't promote me to chief executive. So I refuse to take any job other than that.
So you're going to support me until I do.
Absolutely.
So this can be any age you mentioned.
Any age.
So how is it that they cultivate it? I know you talk a little bit in your book about, let's say, a kid who's going to a soccer practice and a kid forgets his cleats and says to his dad, can you go home and get my cleats for me?
Well, and again, we're doing it, myself included. You know, my daughter forgets her homework folder. I rush home and go get it, and I give it to her so she could turn in her homework because we don't want to get her a bad grade. You know, the bottom line is we do it because we want to see our children succeed.
Right.
We want to see our children happy. We want to see them thrive. But what sometimes we neglect to do, and what we inadvertently do, is we deprive them of the opportunity to fail, and to fail effectively.
Because if you go home and pick up your daughter's homework folder all the time, she's not going to remember to do it, and she's not going to care about remembering to do it.
And there'll be no consequence for her. And that's part of the entitlement process, is ignoring what the consequences are and the meanings of those consequences.
How do extravagant parties, because I know people seem to be throwing really big parties for every kid's birthday nowadays.
My daughter's 4th birthday party cost more than my wedding, I believe.
No way. No way.
Absolutely. Now,
okay, now, Michael, you have a problem.
I have a big...
Let me talk to you about entitled children.
Do you know a book that I could read, please? Can you
I've
recommend
got
a good book? Can you recommend a good book?
For
you know, now, to be fair, we eloped. Okay, but at the same time, you know, and you get caught up in it. Okay, because you see other families and what they're doing.
And you want to one-up.
And not only do you want to one-up, you want them to not feel deprived.
Right.
Okay? Sometimes it's not just, you know, beating the Joneses, it's just trying to keep up with the Joneses.
Right.
And so you get caught up as parents of wanting to see your child happy. But I think it's also setting realistic expectations. Okay? Explaining to them, look, this is not a party that we can necessarily do. We can't invite 300 guests. We can't have a princess pop out of a cake and, you know, take the chariot ride around the block.
Right.
You know, here's what we can do, and offer alternatives. And I think another very important thing for parents to consider is to explain how hard we work to earn those things.
Right.
Okay? That the money just doesn't grow out in the backyard in a tree. It's something that you're earning, and that money pays for these types of things. And sometimes it's not just about money. People can be, you know, kids can be entitled whether they're come from an affluent family or not.
Right.
It has nothing to do with that. It's the attitude and the approach.
I know a family that bought their daughter, adult daughter, a new home. And I just thought, they've just now deprived her of earning her first home, because that feeling of walking into a home that you just bought is the most incredible feeling ever, right?
Correct. And I think we're not talking about the inability to support our children, okay, and to help them, but not doing it all for them. Okay, the value of earning something. This goes back to that culture of, well, you tried to get a trophy, the participation trophy. Okay, we want to praise effort, but we also want to praise the ability to achieve on their own accord. Okay.
Sure.
And that, I think, is a real key takeaway.
Some people have a problem with their kids who sulk when they don't get what they want.
Oh, yes. Yes. The pouty lip syndrome.
Yeah.
Okay. And sometimes what we need to really keep in mind is that sulking is okay. Having our children be hurt, upset, sad.
It's okay.
It's okay. In fact, it's a positive. What we're building is resiliency.
Yeah.
Children who are unable to self-soothe through those processes, those are the ones who later on as an adult have a real difficult time dealing with critical feedback, the workplace environment, even social situations where they don't always get what they want. And that's not what we want for our children as parents. So at any age, we can intervene.
I know parents who get their kids something, let's say a bike, and the kid doesn't take care of it, even though the parent went through all that trouble to buy them a new bike. How do you teach your kids to take care of the things they do get?
Well, I think part of teaching them to take care is modeling for them. Okay. So, for example,
sense.
how do I take care of my car? How do I take care of my bike? How do I take care of my clothes, my bedroom, the house? So modeling is an important step. And then the other thing is, if they're failing to take care of it, don't step in and take care of it for them.
Right, and don't get them another one.
Don't humor them or try to appease them by getting them another one. If it gets rusted, if the bike gets rusted, okay, you didn't take care of it.
Right.
How are you going to earn another bike? Okay, are you going to have a lemonade sale? Or, are you going to get a part-time job? What are you going to do now?
Right.
Okay, and put the responsibility on them.
That all makes sense. Dr. Michael Wetter, thank you so much. The book again is titled Earn It. We'll put the information on our website at k2.com. Thank you very much, Doctor.
It was a
Appreciate
pleasure. Thank you.